I would like to pass on your applause to Mr. Elliot Gerson, the Vice President of the Aspen Institute US, who will surely give us more insights. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And honestly, for opening remarks, those were as good as and inspiring as one can imagine. I can't tell you how honored I am to be here with you all today to join such an extraordinary gathering. I can't say that I have been here 14 times, but I have been here any number of times. And I just have to start by recognizing our dear colleagues at Aspen, Romania, whose vision and leadership have made this forum such an essential stage for dialogue, real dialogue. Dialogue's easy to talk about, but it's much harder actually to do and engage in. And dialogue, not just for this region, and we just heard again about the importance, criticality, on a global sense of this region, but increasingly for the world as well. Over the years, this forum has been really one of, I think, the most singularly powerful examples of the core mission of the Aspen Institute, which was started 75 years ago in what was then a deserted silver mining town no one had ever heard of called Aspen, Colorado. But a mission to foster values-based leadership and open, informed conversation, showing that that kind of conversation with a purpose and a dedication can really lead to creative solutions to the most important global challenges. And frankly, I look forward selfishly to, I hope, being invited back here again next year to celebrate what will be very, very exciting, which is the 20th anniversary of this remarkable institution. And let me say also that I really enjoy the new logo established for that 20th anniversary. There really is a great deal to celebrate. Aspen Institute Romania, like all of Aspen Institute's international partners, now operating in a real sense with offices and programs in probably now more than 20 countries, and now every single continent, is at the forefront of defining challenges of our time, collecting global leaders like those in this room, convening critical conversations like the ones we've been hearing and will hear again today, and critically, not just talking but doing, actually catalyzing, not necessarily in our own name, but by inspiring the people who were in the room to go back to their own organizations and actually do something about these issues and engage other people in them. And also critically, and we've seen examples of that too, engaging with younger generations. One thing I'm very proud of in the Aspen Institute, the United States, and again, like many other things, we've been inspired by our partners to recognize the importance of not just talking to people of a similar age. And looking across the room, I'm older than most of you, but most of us are older than the people who are going to be determining our collective futures. We have just launched in the United States something called the Center for Rising Generations, which will be a critical part of Aspen in the US, and I think it will be an inspiration for other Aspens around the world. And when I say younger generations, I don't mean people in their 40s or 30s. I mean truly younger generations. And we've actually received an extraordinary gift to launch this of, believe it or not, about $200 million. So you will be seeing Aspen representing truly younger people, exposing younger people to the levers of influence and power in the world so they don't give up hope. So they realize that their own ideas, their own frustrations about things going on around them, they'll be able to do something about that. And again, thinking about Aspen, Romania, thinking about that deserted silver mining town, no one had ever heard of skiing or anything like that at that time. I think it's important to just take a minute to thank and recognize Aspen, Romania, for all it has done. While we first had an Aspen Institute outside of the United States in 1974 in Berlin, in West Berlin, and that was what began this trend. But I have to say, in a real sense, it was when I first met Mircea about 20 years ago, that it's really been Aspen, Romania that has created the momentum for what I would say is the modern Aspen and the enormous expansion that we've seen around the world. Were it not for the inspiration brought to us by Aspen, Romania, we would not have seen the number of Aspen partners grow from just about 5 to the 13 and almost 14 today without the incredible example of Romania. Through courageous leadership and global collaboration, these institutes, they spark new ideas, they build trust, and trust is so important in the world today, and they drive change. And for the last 19 years, and we'll be celebrating a big 20th next year, Aspen Romania has been doing vital forward-looking work on strategy and security in Europe in a moment, and we've all been talking about this, when democratic resilience, regional stability, and multinational, multilateral cooperation are being tested perhaps like they have not been before for a generation. And I have to say that we see the same kinds of trends pulling us apart in my own country of the United States in ways that I have never seen in my lifetime. So these activities are not idle. They are not distractions or diversions. They need to be fundamental to what we all need to be doing, and I think they're fundamental to the world. The Aspen approach, and we talk a lot about this, but it's real. It's insisting that good ideas and good values must go hand in hand. That leadership is not about position. It's not about the title that some of us have behind our name, but it's really about purpose. And it's about a conviction to make things better for other people. And that's what animates this. And especially in the times of division that we have been all talking about, that kind of dialogue that we alone, I think, have developed some very special methodologies is our most powerful term. And again, I don't know of a time where partisanship of a nature that is truly poisonous has not contaminated more of our countries, more of our democracies. And when we have that kind of partisanship, where people can barely talk each other, where people not just disrespect each other, but in some cases actually hate each other, it's extraordinary, it's extraordinarily damaging, and Aspen is in a position to do something about it. Whether it's the panel discussions that we heard yesterday, the roundtable conversations that we'll hear today, or, and I alluded to that, the fabulous Young Leaders programs that occur all around the year, there's never been a more important time to convene leaders across sectors, across ideologies, and yes, across generations, because these problems are not going to be solved by my generation alone by any means. It is out of that kind of diversity in rooms like this, in smaller rooms and gatherings of all kinds, that people can bring insights that can help shape national and transatlantic cooperation, to rebuild trust. And again, trust is one of those other words that we can't talk too much about. We have a new strategic plan for Aspen, probably the most important strategic plan we've had in our 75 years. And central to that plan is to focus on the decay of social trust we see in all of our institutions. No political system can work when there is so much fundamental distrust that citizens have for each other. So we have to do something about it. It's an imperative, and without that, we're not going to see the future that we all hope for our own children. So this forum, the superb Aspen Romania team behind it, demonstrate, to me, give me confidence why the Aspen model matters. It brings spaces together for ideas, integrity, and impact, and come together in ways that we just haven't before. Across the Aspen network, and again, you're part of something that's truly global. Those of you who've only participated perhaps here, perhaps Moldova, perhaps Prague, perhaps Kyiv before this terrible war, may not appreciate the breadth of this network that you're all intimately now part of. From Bucharest to Bogota, which is our youngest Aspen, from Tokyo, which has been with us for more than 25 years, to Mexico City, which has been with us just about a decade. We're seeing a growing appetite for doing things together. We even have a new fund in the United States, contributed by two of our wonderful trustees, to facilitate collaborations and combinations among all of our Aspens. Each of those Aspens must be rooted in their local content, as we've heard here today about the critical history, culture, geography, ethnicities of Romania and what make it such a special place. Every Aspen has comparable situations, but they at the same time recognize they are part of a global family. And through that kind of collaboration gives us a unity that I think gives us more power than we perhaps ever had before. Together, we're proving that this kind of global collaboration does not require uniformity. We don't have to operate in each Aspen by any means in similar ways. We have to respect our local conditions and local challenges, but it does mean that we have a shared responsibility. Each Aspen partner contributes its own insights, its own experiences, and its own leadership, and increasingly its own young people in this common pursuit, building more just, free, democratic, and equitable societies. In times of global uncertainty that we have today, this dialogue that we sponsor is not a luxury, it's an absolute necessity. The ability to bring diverse voices together, and we must not be afraid of bringing voices into the room of people that we may not respect politically, we may be intimidated by, we may even fear. But if we can't bring them into the room and find ways to have respectful dialogue, how can we possibly expect to have solutions to our problem? That is how we're ultimately going to get the security and progress we need. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the Aspen promise, and it gives us hope that the ideas that we bring to this room, grounded in values, leaders guided by conscience and purpose, not by ego, not by desires to self-advance, really can make a difference. So again, I thank all of you for being here. I thank our partners in Romania in particular for making this possible and being such a shining example across the Aspen globe. And I urge all of you to have the inspiring day that I'm sure you will. Thank you.